I'm Jessica Rhymes. This is Rhymes Reimagined, and today we are doing another Christmas DIY. This is actually going to be my wreath for my front door. I have a bit of a array of things in front of me. I'm going to use this, it's called a 3D wreath form. It's supposed to make like a sphere. They gave you a bunch of rings that look like this, that have like little notches on them. I'm gonna take the notches off. These little notches are to make it into a ball, but I'm just gonna use the wire frame to make the wreath. It's a 10-inch round ring. I used some wire cutters. I think these are wire cutters to snip the little notch off, and then I use the wire cutters to actually snip it open. Then I'm actually going to use some wooden beads. I have a variation of sizes, so you can see a few different sizes. I'm going to use like 3 different sizes. And then I also have some plastic. It's like a plastic pearly bead. It's hard to see, but it's got a little pearl essence in it. And then to glue the wreath form back together, because I had to cut it apart, I'm gonna use the best adhesive ever, E6000. It is definitely the best adhesive on the market. If you need some adhesive, it keeps things together basically forever. I love it. So I'm going to use that to kind of glue the beads together at the end. And then I'm going to add some decorative elements. So my decorative elements are going to be some dried eucalyptus. I have 3 pieces of dried eucalyptus that I'm going to add to it. And then I have the Fa La 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 sign that I got from my aunt. If you saw my thrift haul video, you saw this. I'm going to use that to attach to it as well. So I have it already beaded on. I beaded on a few pieces. I'm going to finish beading it on and glue it together. I'm going to put my little protective junk mail down that I'm going to use to glue it together. So I'm going to just keep adding on the beads. I do have a pattern, so basically I go from smallest to largest and then from largest to smallest. I used the wood beads, and then I use one of the little pearl beads in the middle to separate each section, if that makes sense. You can see it a little better this way. So I'm going to go ahead and finish adding the rest, following that same pattern. This over here a little closer to me. So I did a pearly bead, so then I'm gonna go back and look at my pattern. I actually did this a different way earlier and decided that I didn't like it, and I undid it. I'm not against undoing something that I don't like, even if it takes me time. It only took me about 10 minutes to bead these on. I decided that I wanted to add the pearly bead, so I undid it and put it back together like a crazy person. But I'm not ashamed. So I'm just gonna keep adding these on. The pearly bead. And as I get closer to the center, I'm gonna start using the glue to put in between. Be careful not to throw the wreath form and lose the beads. Put that down. So I'm gonna open the glue so I can have it on hand and ready to go. So I'm going to just try and put a dab in between the beads. Just a small little dab. Use a little too much, so take it off while it's wet. So I only have a few beads left to put on, so that's why I'm gonna start adding the glue so that this part starts getting stuck together, if that makes sense. So I only have a couple beads left. I try to slide the last pieces inside of a bead, so put some glue on the very ends and then push it both of the ends together inside of a bead. And again, this, it may not sound like it's gonna stick, but with E6000 anything will stick. So I'm gonna keep adding until I get to the very end. Some glue on both sides. So dab, dab, dab at E6000. And it's already starting to dry, so the other ones are sticking well already. And you might, in order to make sure that you have room for at the end, you might need to switch the pattern up, because right now I'm supposed to put 2 big beads right here, and I don't think I want to do that because I don't want to run out of room. So I'm gonna start putting a small bead on, or just follow the pattern from one side so that it can meet up. I think I can do that. So I'm gonna put this bead on. No, I'm gonna put, if you see what I'm saying. So I only have a little bit of space left. So I'm gonna change the pattern a little bit so that I have enough room to slide a bead on at the end. And I got glue on my sweater. Oops. Try and get it off now so it doesn't dry. So yeah, I'm gonna take a small bead where I would have put a big bead. And then I'm gonna take a little pearly bead, and I think that's gonna be my very last bead. Make sure it's enough glue on both ends. And then I'm going to slide it on one side and then slide the other side in and push it so it's good and stuck. And then I'm actually going to leave this to dry for a little while. I usually try to let it dry for several hours before I even try to do anything else with it. And then I'll come back and add the decorative elements and show you how I do that. Okay, I tied the sign to the frame in 3 spots. It's actually behind, it's hidden here. This one isn't hidden, but it's silver, and I think it blends in really well. That's on the F, and then if you go down to the A, I also tied it on this side as well. So for the eucalyptus, I was gonna try and tie the 3 of them together and attach it, but I think I'm gonna tie it in 3 different spots to make sure that they all stay. So I'll do that, stick the ribbon on, and show you the finished product. I glued this and I want to camouflage it, so I'm going to tie a little knot. And I'm going to twist it so the sparkly side stays on the outside. So twist it on the inside. And pull it and tie it. Not too tight. And then curl the ends. And that's it.
here is the finished product. I absolutely love the way that it turned out. I think the sparkly ribbon goes well with my entryway decor, and the natural wood beads and the eucalyptus go really well with my decorations on the inside of the house. This is not the way I originally intended it to be, but I had to play with it to make it work the way it could tie and lay perfectly so I could put it up. And I think that the ribbon does a good job of camouflaging the ends of the eucalyptus. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe.